more on this from Kurt Bassuener. He's the Senior Associate for the Democratization Policy Council. He joins us now live from Croatia's capital, Zagreb. Kurt, thank you very much for your time. Can we just first of all get your reaction to the verdict? Is there any surprise?
Well, I don't think there is any major surprise. I mean, obviously, it's never a done deal until you hear how it's adjudicated. I'm generally satisfied, except for the one non-guilty verdict, because I think the evidence, at least from my perception, is clear that there was a genocidal program from the very beginning, and I think that's what your correspondent was referring to in Prijedor and Vlasenica and other of those 7 municipalities that she referred to in the first charge.
Were you expecting the region as a whole to react to the verdict?
I think they're going to react the way you would expect them to react, because this is obviously the biggest verdict thus far, but certainly not unprecedented in terms of the crimes that are being adjudicated, the types of crimes. And I think that you're going to see the sorts of reactions and hear the sorts of reactions that we've heard consistently. The Serbs will discount it and say it was unfair. A lot of Bosnians, Bosniaks in particular, are disappointed, I think understandably, that with the sentence, though it's effectively a life sentence, and which is the most that could have been hoped for. But I don't think this is going to change any minds in the region. And I don't think the word closure really makes sense, because the general who commanded the operation in Srebrenica and the Bosnian Serb army throughout the war is still yet to be sentenced, Ratko Mladic.
Well, I was going to ask you there if this was a step towards closure. You kind of preempted that question, but is it a step towards? That's okay. Is it a step towards closure, or could, in some ways, this verdict actually increase tensions in the region and sort of reopen wounds that perhaps had been closed?
The wounds haven't been closed, so it's not going to reopen anything. I think the what remains open that could be closed is not something that any court ruling could, whatever it is, could close, and that is the fact that the agendas for which the war was pursued continue to be pursued at this point, and that's something that, you know, comparisons to Franco-German rapprochement after the Second World War don't capture. I mean, Germany was unconditionally defeated and occupied, and it made it a lot easier to move forward, because it was clear that those things would never be allowed to be pursued again. But now every unfulfilled agenda that existed 20 years ago is, a little over 20 years ago, is continuing to be pursued. And I think that's something only the West can declare off limits. And legally, we have the responsibility to do that. Practically, we've demonstrated that we just don't have the stomach to say there won't be any more ethnic violence allowed in Bosnia or the rest of the Balkans, or else they'll get it from us.
Okay, Kurt Bassuener, thank you very much for your reaction here on TRT World.